It is 12 o'clock, actually probably just past 12:02. Let's call the special city council meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Brooks, here. Harmon, Lilly, McMahon,
Here.
Hyde,
Here.
Keplinger, Sanders,
Here.
Williams, here.
Is there a motion to waive the reading requirement?
So moved. Second.
Lilly, Hyde,
Yes.
Harmon, McMahon,
Aye.
Keplinger, Sanders,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Mayor Young.
Let me read the ordinance, and then I think we're going to have a little discussion. An ordinance approving services for excavation and repair of the City Hall pond, waiving competitive bidding, declaring an emergency, and for other purposes. I'm going to ask for an amendment to remove the emergency clause, and then I think Alderman Williams has an amendment as well.
All right, so do we need to vote on your amendment first?
Let's do them together.
Okay.
I'd like to actually put a cap on this because I took the liberty to call the gentleman who did the quote. And you don't know how many truckloads you're going to have to unload, but with some of the things, but it looks like that piece is going to be, so I guess I'd like to, it looks like it's at least a minimum of $50,000 project. So, 50, or, the mayor mentioned maybe 60, 50 out of capital funds, out of operating budget, 10 out of that revenue.
Say this, there is some left, there's some projects that come under bid that's in our general fund drainage.
Okay.
And that's why that funds are there.
Right.
Then we have received 10,000 fines. So Brian and I were kind of discussing this morning, perhaps maybe if it's 50,000 from general fund and then the 10,000 fines.
Then that would be, but I would like to see that we have a cap on it. And then if they see that they're going to exceed the cap, I just don't like writing a blank check. I'm sorry. So if y'all like that, so vote. If you don't,
I understand that, but I just know there's a lot that could go wrong with this project.
Could somebody give some background on this, please?
Brian and Darren both are here today, and I think Darren, Brian kind of passed the buck to you this morning. I know you both, I'm teasing. He said you had actually spoke with the gentleman. I do know that this has not been, we've done this early on when I first came on board, probably in about 2008. And all the retention comes into this pond here. So if you want to give a little bit of, either one of you guys that want to.
It's just, it's silted back in with sediment. It looks like it's approximately 4 foot deep. The entire pond. I think when we dug it out in 2008 or thereabouts, about 8 foot deep, about 4 foot at best. Water level right now, and it's probably not even that deep.
So is this something like every couple of years, every 10 years we have to dig it out? I mean, is there any way of preventing or proactive or anything to keep from?
You could try to trap it upstream somewhere, which would require digging it out upstream. I think that it will probably slow down now that the building upstream is slowed down.
It's pretty much developed out what feeds into it.
Right. You know, that's where a lot of it came from. Like a lot of it, that's for leaves and natural. It happens every year, but you're going to have to clean it out somewhere.
Even in talking to Mr. Waters today, he mentioned that there was, by doing the sediment, if you go up the creek level, there's 2 areas where you can actually build a collection of the sediment, and that's in that rock dam area. That's what that meant, to prevent it from occurring. And we didn't do that in 2008. So whether it be from current staff, staff or contract with him to do that.
Creating other ponds upstream that won't be as deep, probably won't inhabit fish, or grow mosquitoes, and there can be somewhat unsightly, cattails, more like sloughs. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence whether I've got a different opinion of the bill.
Gotcha. And I knew that, but I want to put that out there.
How many upstream ponds before you get to this one are there? I mean, how many are you talking about? Do you know?
I don't know of any, what he was talking about was the property the city owns just north of Thornhill.
Right.
You could possibly build a rock check dam there and retain some of the sediment at that point, clean it out off of that lot. I'm not sure where the other location One is gonna be right here, just to the north of the pond. Okay, about one of the bridges. About by the bridge. Still in the same confined location, but trying to clean it out, and it's something that would have to be done frequently.
I'm thinking about what you said about the mosquitoes, and that empty lot is right next to a huge neighborhood, and I think that might create some problems if we were to.
I'm not sure that where we're catching it now is not the best place to catch it, in my opinion.
Just need to be enlarged at all? Is that, I mean, not only deeper, but it more,
But you really can't go any deeper. Last time we cleaned it out to the depth of about 8 foot, it was solid rock. Down there, it's
Bedrock.
bedrock.
You know, 9 years is a long time, and
It's a maintenance fee, so to speak.
You're gonna clean it out somewhere, either here or upstream.
And the other thing is that if our residents would maybe prevent, I'm going to say it because you said it, per Brian, we need people not to put their leaves out in the street to be going down into the water drainage.
And the grass clippings, and
Clippings,
blowing.
let them be vacuumed up or bag them.
it's got a lot better.
they
It
vacuum
has.
into the streets is what
It
so
has.
often they do, whether it's leaves or grass clippings, because I've
Right.
gotten onto some of the lawn people that I see doing that
But the
in my
reason,
neighborhood.
the reason we're asking for the waiving of the bidding is because we haven't had any success getting people to be willing to do it. But also, this is time year to do it. If we're going to do it, we'll have to put it off to this time next year. And we did talk about it at the mid-year budget.
Yeah, we did. I
Yeah,
showed
the
it.
need of it. And,
It's a neat resource for our community. I mean, just today, this morning, I was driving down Keel and there were people out there fishing and walking around it. And I thought, that is so nice because I remember when it was just a little swampy area, so a little swampy area has turned into something that I see people out there fishing all the time. It's a really neat thing for our community.
it's
So-
primary, originally it was for detention, but it's really evolved into a community area. And the game and fish, we've had a lot of problems with that because there's so much silt this year that they have not stocked it the way they usually do. And that's why we had to have it cleaned out before, is the water levels and some problems that they have pulled.
Would one of those little aerators help in terms of the mosquitoes over there?
Existing pond.
Yes, in the
There was
existing
an
ponds.
aerator in it, I think.
I haven't seen it for a while though.
Sonny told me that they moved it. The game and fish told us that it wasn't doing any good anyway. That's
Okay.
Back to the amendment. I'd like to amend, I'd just like a max. I mean,
I
I'm 60 is fine, but if you want to go a little bit higher, I just don't want to blank check.
I think we might need, I'm just worried that once he gets in there, you don't know what's going to happen. And I know that 60,000 sounds like a lot of money, but it could be, we'll have to have another special meeting and he's going to have to come back if it's more, so.
What is as I read that, I'm understanding that the problem is not knowing how much he's gonna have to dig out of there. Is that the issue? As to why we can't get a solid number on this thing?
he's got a price on the truckload. And that's really the only way.
You can't do it, yeah.
Because he doesn't know, we've measured it and come up with an estimate of somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 truckloads, only able to haul 12 yards per load.
I think his explanation to me was excellent today. He simply said, the wetter it is, you can't fill a truckload because you lose it. So, the whole idea, I did my homework. So the whole idea of having the flash ash in there, it's almost like you tell me to put cat litter in my paint before I put it out there for recycle. Just put this stuff in here to dry it up. And the drier it is, the fuller the truckload can go. You're looking at 12 yards of truckload. He quoted 15, but we may not can get 15 yards in the truck if it's all wet. Because the minute he pulls out, it's going to lose half of it.
And then if we lose some of it in the
We
road,
got a lot.
We got a problem.
We got a problem. The last time it was
Yeah.
done.
So,
Anything out on Keel Avenue.
right.
That's what I'm
That's the
thinking.
highway.
He may
So
have to do more loads.
You're going to have to do
because-
more loads, but we may have to spend a couple $1,000 to put the ash stuff in there to dry it up as maximum.
And I think Brian had already spoke with them about.
Yep, he did.
Brian,
Good idea.
how long, are we gonna drain the pond, right?
That's not, he's gonna pump it out. I think he told us that they could start within 5 days, I think.
Pretty good.
Start getting dewatered.
How long after it's dewatered
Everything in it.
that he can actually start hauling dirt out, or hauling the muck out of there?
Depends on how quick it dries and whether you have any rainfalls.
Right. Right.
So if we remove this emergency clause and he can't start in 5 days,
We're not gonna be paying him anyway.
well,
I would say.
Well, he can start, it's just we won't
He
be
can start.
paying.
What happens with everything in the pond currently? When y'all drain it all, what happens to everything in the pond? He just takes it all out with it? And we have to reestablish the ecosystem then in it?
There'll be people out there fishing when the water.
the water goes down, the
They'll
fish
be
are
out there
gonna
with
be,
their mud boots.
can they fish with a net on those days? Save the fish?
Save the fish for what?
So,
So,
What-
Brian, like I said, Brian, in your professional opinion, is $60,000 a good amount for Alderman, Councilmember Williams?
I feel like, nothing wildly unforeseen, that we should do it.
do you want to say 50 in general and 10 in fine money?
I don't want to strap you, but I just don't want, I'm not giving you a blank check.
I don't want to strap our budget either.
Me.
Well, go 65 then if you're in the.
No, I don't want to go.
We're not gambling here. I just want to make sure that if, in your professional opinion, if you think,
Why don't we do, cap it at the 60? I seriously doubt that, it's gonna be anywhere near done by the next council meeting. If there's something that comes, go unforeseen, we can talk about it.
I like
So we need a motion to remove the emergency clause and a motion to.
that. So moved.
Second. We're doing one at a time, Steve, or we're doing both?
Let's do them both. Motion to remove the emergency clause and to cap it at 60,000. Alderman,
So
Well,
on
sec-
section 1, should we say in addition, so the city has the $10,000 fines and then 50,000 in budgeted funds?
we'll just add a sentence that says that the project is capped at
Okay.
$50,000 from general fund and 10,000 from fines. Section 1.
Who made the second? Me?
I did, yeah.
High,
Aye.
Harmon, McMinn,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
An ordinance approving service for excavation and repair of the City Hall pond, waiving competitive bidding and for other purposes as amended.
Move for adoption of the ordinance as amended. Second.
High,
Aye.
McMinn,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Mayor, that is the agenda.
Before we go, I think Stacy said something there, buddy, but when everybody's driving around their neighborhoods, if they see any nice fall or Halloween decorations, take a picture and send it to Stacy. And that will be for Yard of the Month for fall. And if anyone sees anything nice, please do that. Move we adjourn.